Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So I've been scouring the internet for a few months now and I figured the new year was a perfect time to start a bullet journal. After a lengthy debate on whether I wanted to do something easy for my first year like food items or even go a little bit less ambitious with the Disney theme, I decided I wanted to stay true to my weeb trash ways and do an anime theme. In this journal, I plan to have each month dedicated to a different popular anime like My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, and some of the classics like Death Note and FMA. And like I mentioned in my Disney Galaxies video, I noticed that every anime journal I've seen out there usually uses cutouts and screenshots, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I wanted to hopefully be the first to draw my own. On YouTube, at least. So let's get right into it. If you want to see the other anime-themed bujo that I set up, I'll leave the link to it right here. So I thought it was interesting that they chose to call it a bujo for short. We don't need the extra 2 letters, right? Just call it a bijo. Oh, that's why. Since this ended up being a rather lengthy process, I decided to split the yearly setup and the month of January into 2 separate videos. I should also note that this notebook is B5 size, whereas my friend Karina's was a standard A5. I had an idea for February's theme and I wanted to make sure that I had enough space to do it. The maker is Archer and Olive, which I hear is one of the top quality bullet journals on the market. My advice, if you want to go gung-ho with the paints and markers like I'm about to do, you will want a notebook like this one with 160 GSM paper thickness. That basically means you can slather it with watercolors and all, and it won't buckle. Allegedly. Also, if you like this idea, I'll consider making these into sticker spreads that I can make printable or buyable from Redbubble, Etsy, or Patreon. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments down below. I love reading your feedback. Anyway, let's begin with my spreads. For the opening cover, I had to feature the character after whom my YouTube channel is named, and that is Jenitsu from Demon Slayer. He's obstreperous and insistent, but I'm super fond of him anyway. I have him on my pencil case, and he goes everywhere on my car keys. He's my little Moe Dorito prince, and I have an irrational yet mighty love for him. So I picked up some of that New Year's table confetti that they sell at grocery stores, and I have him dumping a bucket of it over Nezuko. Oh, I just can't wait to get covered with it every time I open this journal for a year. On the name page, I added Inosuke and Tanjiro, where Inosuke is loudly blaring his party horn into Tanjiro's ear. I also had some gold foil streamer type things, and I noticed they were perfect for making a border. It turned out shinier than washi tape, which I love, and I used my Gansei Tanbei metallic watercolors to paint the barrel gold too. Guys, real quick, there's something you should know about me.
I love gold!
So be prepared to find that on lots of my pages this year. Get ready. For my next page, I had an idea to draw a significant key from a popular anime series, and for some reason the only one I could think of off the top of my head was Aaron's basement key in Attack on Titan. We waited like 6 years to get to that basement, man. So here I drew Levi holding up the key to us, but Aaron is still unfortunately wearing it, so he's being choked by accident. Or maybe on purpose. Whatever your yaoi dreams want to imagine, man. I'm not here to judge. I had fun drawing this one. And then below I made a box to organize my tasks in. The symbol in the center is the Japanese kanji for key, by the way, so that's all it says. I was feeling fancy. The following page is the index. I only need 1 page for this because I write small, but I didn't want it to be too plain either, so I made it into an ombre orange to yellow gradient with little white triangles to match Zenitsu's Haori. On the other side of the index, I have my grid cheat sheet. I just need this for quick reference on splitting my spreads into halves, thirds, quarters, etc., especially since the last journal I did was A5 and I've never used this B5 size, so the spacing was a little different. I didn't think it would be as functional decorated, so I left it plain. The next page was actually just a page I had no idea what to do with, so I took to Pinterest to find some ideas and settled on a wellness tracker. I haven't gone into details yet, but I probably will in a storytime video soon, but you've probably heard me mention that I've been dealing with a lot of health issues as of late. Long story short, my ANA lit up like a Christmas tree, saying I tested positive for 5 separate autoimmune diseases, which explains why I've only been able to eat 6 foods since July. I can eat pears now though, which is neat. It's my only source of sugar. You know what's wild? If you ever cut out sugar entirely from your diet, suddenly eating a piece of fruit is like tasting baklava. It's crazy. But I digress. Most people do a yearly mood tracker, which maybe I'm a robot, but like my moods don't fluctuate. I just wake up neutral. Same mood all the time unless there's some major catalyst to change it. Do any of you wake up in different moods sometimes? Let me know in the comments, I'm curious. So instead of that, I decided on a wellness tracker, which I'm going to use to follow the progression and improvement of my generous supply of illnesses. Yeah, rainbow of sickness! Anyway, next it was time to do the future log. I copied the spread layout I made for my friend's setup by splitting the page into thirds and then adding a big image in the extra space. Here I went with Retsuko from Agretsuko going, "Is it Friday yet?" I used some cute strawberry washi tape for the headings and then highlighted a handful of people's birthdays. I plan to fill in more soon so I can come back to it. Let's talk about the next spread. So I was really wanting to make myself read more this year. I'm totally already mooching off my friend's Audible account, so I have no excuse to not listen to books while I draw. I wanted to put a little anime bookworm in a library, picking out from the books I will fill in with titles throughout the year as I finish them. And the character I chose for this is Armin, which turned out to be an inspiring choice actually, because he has such strong ties to the ocean that I immediately came up with the idea to make the scene underwater. So it took the form of Ariel's undersea grotto. On the left, Armin is floating in the water holding the first book I will finish this year, which is Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's what I'm reading right now. Above him is a manta ray, and on the right is his cove of thingamabobs. You know he has 20. Moving on. I was going to make it 50 books, but I realized that's crazy talk because I don't read much ever. You know, aside from medical journals, the occasional short story online, or a fun little fan fiction. So what I did instead, I just started drawing the grotto and adding books naturally as I went, and it ended up with like 31, I think, including the one Armin's holding. This is the first time I've used watercolors since I was like 8 probably. I know, it shows. I easily worked the hardest on this one, but it ended up looking the worst. If I ever start doing digital art, I can hopefully redo this entire thing and glue it in to cover it up. But all I could do for the time being was add the manta ray and my bunny Bubbles floating in the scene to take away from the hideous background. I gave her a sort of sandy cheeks bubble helmet so she can swim with Armin. And for the final spread before January, I made with characters from Made in Abyss. On the left, I did a little TMI spread where I track my menstrual cycles, and on the bottom left, Reg is embarrassed by it and Nanachi is face-palming. And on the right side, I split it into a goals, YouTube ideas, and things to save money for spread. And on that page, I have Rico starry-eyed looking at the big gem, hopefully to inspire me to save up for the things I really want this year, rather than just buying too much on a whim and feeling bad later. I felt like it was missing something, so I added some washi tape and drew a few little Naratantan, which are like Frisbee squirrels that show up in the show. And that's it for my yearly setup before January. Here's the final flip through. Now, I didn't want to spoil the upcoming themes, but this one will be coming soon enough, so I'll go ahead and tell you. January will be My Hero Academia themed. So all of our good friends, Midoriya, Todoroki, Bakugo, Ida, and more. So if you love them like I do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss it. And it won't stop there. I have a different anime theme for every month. Some I have set for sure, and others are up in the air. So leave me a comment on which anime you want to see the most. This was so fun, guys. I can't wait to make this a regular thing. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!